on tension of the string, and it depends on mu. Okay, we'll do a few quick questions based on this concept. The idea is, remember that wave's velocity is always with respect to the string. Okay, so did I do this question with you guys? ये question किया था page 24? नहीं, okay. All right, so this is a very simple question to get us started. There is a truck moving with a velocity of 10 meters per second. Okay, and then inside the truck there's of course you can see there's a mass hanging pulley set up. And एक second. Okay, there's a mass hanging, there's a pulley set up, and then there is also there's a wire, there's a string attached to the pulley, and that string a pulse is produced at the left end. Question is, given all of this information, bus is moving with a constant velocity. Can you find the velocity of the pulse with respect to the ground? Simple question, is just a conceptual question. Can you quickly solve this? Okay. Two minutes time. And with respect to ground, कोई बोलेगा नहीं, हमेशा implied होता है कि velocity is asked, you need to find it with respect to the ground. ये जो अगर मेरा diagram उतना clear नहीं है, this is a very nice car that I've drawn. Okay, so this is a car which is moving with the velocity of 10. कार के wall से string एक तरफ attached है. One end is attached to the back of the car. The other end is on this table passing over a pulley attached to this block. Okay. यहाँ पे एक पल्स जनरेट किया है, वो पल्स का ग्राउंड के रिस्पेक्ट में क्या वेलोसिटी होगा वो पूछा है. Mu for the rope is 0.25 kg per meter. Mu is linear mass density. Mass is 10 kg. Yes, Pratyasha, that's right. Yes, come on, one more minute. Yes, Nihil, Sanika, सही है. यश सही है. Alright, simple था. Simple था. बस formula use करना है. Okay, so when you apply the formula root T by mu, that formula gives you the velocity of the pulse with respect to the string. तो एक तो वो देखते हैं वो कितना आ रहा है. What is root T by mu? Okay, so this is a non-inertial frame, so nothing weird, nothing complicated going on, no friction anywhere. That's a fair assumption unless I tell you there's friction. So this is फिलहाल a very simple scene. यहाँ पे your tension is simply going to balance the weight of the block that is hanging. So tension is simply 10 G, 100 Newton. दूसरी बात ये है कि mu is going to be 0.25 kg per meter. So that is the linear mass density of the rope. Okay. So 10 G by 0.25, 100 by 1/4. Root 400 becomes the velocity of the pulse. In other words, 20 meters per second becomes the velocity of the pulse with respect to the string and with respect to the bus itself. Again, this is the velocity of the pulse with respect to the string, with respect to the bus. Then, to get the velocity of the string pulse or the velocity of the wave with respect to the ground, you'll have to just apply simple logical relative motion ka concept. The velocity of wave with respect to the ground is velocity of wave with respect to the string plus velocity of the string with respect to the ground. String खुद से 10 के स्पीड से मूव कर रहा है. Okay? उसके ऊपर ये और 20 के स्पीड से मूव कर रहा है. तो कुल मिलके इसका net velocity with respect to ground has to be 30 towards the right. All right, simple idea. So you will have very if in fact out of your homework questions from 17 to 27 in your HCV, most of those questions are just based on this formula, and most of the challenge just lie in finding tension. So any question on this formula should ideally be very simple if you're good with laws of motion. You know how to find tension. वो भी है ना, ये waves का question है तो ज़्यादा complicate नहीं करेंगे, right? So if you just know how to find tension, you can more or less, you can then easily find the velocity in string. All right. One of you saying, sir, the string has mass, so shouldn't tension vary? Technically, yes. Okay, but you can see how compared to this tension that already exists, how ye mass is going to be quite small, 0.25 kg. It's fair to neglect the change in tension due to mu, but you're right. In a sense, being heavy, it would change. Okay, in fact, we're going to have questions like that as well. But in this case, like compared to the weight already hanging and compared to the value the tension already has, so you can more or less, you can understand why the person is asking this question, what he's trying to test in this, and you can ignore mu in this case. Okay, we'll of course see cases where tension will change with mu. Okay, somebody wants me to wait, please say so. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool. थोड़ा और interesting question ये वाला एक try कर लो. ठीक है, again the challenge even in this challenge is again in finding tension using laws of motion. The challenge is in applying relative motion. The waves part is limited to the root T by mu formula. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. I am giving you this string pulley system. Okay, the system is just released. This length over here between the two pulleys is 13 meters. The masses you can see are 6 and 4. The mass per unit length is 1/3 kg per meter. Okay, you can again ignore. I think this time the mass is a little big, but ignore the effect of this on tension. Okay, ignore the effect of this on tension. Assume that tension is only affected by 4 and 6. Question is, find the time taken by the pulse to reach the right end. Find the time taken by the pulse to reach the right end. So the pulse is started at this end. In how much time will it reach the right end, given that the system is just released? Okay, please try this question. I'll give you maybe 3 minutes to solve this. Or let's say 4. Okay, so 18, 7:18 the time. A little over 3 minutes. Come on. Think and get this right. Assume tension is constant throughout the string. Ignore the effect of mu. And this is a fair assumption because this is not given to us. This is not given to us. We need to know how much is hanging if at all we want to see how tension changes. The hanging portion ka length nahi diya, so you actually can't accurately figure out how tension is changing. So Pratyash, you're right. Now you need to find time. Fine time. 6 seconds is wrong. Tanmay, your answer is correct. Tanmay, your answer is correct. Six seconds. इसका I just check again whether see अगर velocity सही से निकाला है क्या. 13/2 भी गलत है. Pratyasha, your answer is correct. Just 13/2 जिसका just check tension सही से निकाला है क्या. Remove tension carefully. Solve for tension. Then find V. दीपक V सही है. Sanadya सही है. Very nice. Now, Ahmed, you're on the right track, but that's not the answer. Okay, you're on the right track. I know you have found velocity correctly, but that's not the answer. So think, what have you missed? Or have you missed? Okay, so 7:18. Those who are getting the answer, those who are close, you can continue solving. Maybe those who are not sure whether the velocity is correct, whether the tension is correct. So I'm going to just show them at least how tension and velocity is coming. Those who just want to cross check, velocity is 12, tension is 48. Okay, so 12 and 48, tension 48 है, velocity 12 है, acceleration 2 है. In fact, I understand what a mistake one of you made. One of you was, I think, taking acceleration as velocity. हो सकता है इसलिए कुछ 13/2 answer आया. But these are the correct quantities. I'll just quickly explain to the others who didn't get this how this comes. Meanwhile, guys, try to solve using this. Try to find time using this. ठीक है, जिनका अब तक नहीं आया. तो मैंने ये टेंशन निकालने के लिए पूर्णा से ही है. गुड. ठीक है, तो टेंशन निकालने के लिए what I'm doing is I'm going to see, there are, of course, you know how to do this. You have learned laws of motion. There is one technique where तुम इसको सिस्टम लोगे और इक्वेशन लिखोगे T-4G is 4A, है ना, और इसको सिस्टम लोगे और इसके लिए लिखोगे 6G - T is 6A. तो दो इक्वेशन, दो अननोन सॉल्व करके T भी निकाल सकते हो, A भी निकाल सकते हो. There's another method I like to use which directly gives me acceleration, and that is when I take the entire string as my system. Okay, so the entire string is like, imagine this to be like a snake, and the entire string behaves like a rigid body along this kind of line. What do I mean when I say behaves like a rigid body? जितना ये end ऊपर जाता है उतना ही वो end नीचे जाता है, उतना ही ये middle part आगे बढ़ता है. So it's behaving like a rigid body along this line. So along the line of the string, along the length of the string, I want to apply Newton's second law. Whenever you see me write N to L, that's how I write Newton's second law, N to L. So a shortcut. So I want to apply N to L, Newton's second law, along the string. Yeah, which is quite logical. मान लो मैं सांप का सिर को मैं 6G से इस तरफ खींच रहा हूँ. ठीक है, imagine two bold kids are playing with a snake. So one guy is pulling the head with the force of 6G. The other guy is pulling the tail with the force of 4G. And he's pulling it clearly in the opposite direction. So then the net force along this kind of direction along this kind of direction, the net force becomes 6G minus 4G. 6G minus 4G. That's the net pulling force. That force is now going to be responsible. Okay, that's actually what gravity is doing. 6G minus 4G laga raha hai. And that force is now responsible for making this entire snake accelerate along this direction, along this track. So with what mass is the snake accelerating? So the mass of this entire body is 6 plus 4, 10. And the acceleration along this direction is A. So 6G minus 4G is 10A. Again, there is no other force. Pulley ka force normal वगैरह perpendicular होगा. The only force pulling the string, pulling the system along the string is going to be gravity. So 6G minus 4G, 6 plus 4A, making this entire equation, 6G minus 4G is going to be 2G. 2G is going to be 20. 6 plus 4 is going to be 10A. 20 is equal to 10A. Matlab acceleration is equal to 2. Okay? So I have found acceleration as 2. Yash, your answer is right. I found acceleration as 2. And this is, by the way, the acceleration of the string. This is the acceleration of the string. Okay. So this is a shortcut to find acceleration. Of course, if you want tension, you will have to use the second equation again. Okay? The tension निकालने के लिए anyways दो equation use होगा. दीपक सही है, very nice. तो टेंशन निकालने के लिए मैं कोई भी एक सिस्टम ले सकता हूँ. इसको लिया मैंने तो अपवर्ड फोर्स टेंशन माइनस डाउनवर्ड फोर्स 4G. नेट अपवर्ड फोर्स T minus 4G is equal to mass into acceleration 4A. So either ways, you guys know laws of motion. We'll not dwell too much on this, but either way, you know how to find the answer. The answer is going to be 4G plus 4A. That's your tension. 40 plus 4 into 2, 40 plus 8. 48 Newton is tension. To get velocity of the pulse, and I will stress this is velocity of the pulse with respect to the string, not with respect to the ground, with respect to the string. Get velocity of the pulse with respect to the string. I need the formula root T by mu. T is 48, mu is 1 upon 3. 3 ko upar le lo, it becomes 48 into 3, 144. Okay? And 144 is, of course, the square of 12. So velocity comes out to be 12 meters per second. Okay. With this, we can quickly find our total, what we were doing. We can find the time taken for the pulse to reach. So I think some people have gotten it. Some answered time as 13 by 12. Okay, 13 by 12 would have been correct. You're just doing distance by speed. That would have been correct. Had the string been stationary. The string is not stationary. String bhi aage move kar raha hai na? So that's actually helping the pulse reach the other end. String ko दूसरी तरफ के ये पुली की तरफ जा रहा है और pulse string पे इतना speed से जा रहा है. All right, so definitely the pulse is going to reach the pulley a little sooner than 13 by 12. So does anyone want me to wait on this page? 5, 4, अच्छा 1 second. अच्छा answer दे रहा है. हाँ सही है, अहमद सही है. I thought you're telling me to wait for that time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'll move on. So with this velocity, okay, the main trick वही था. मतलब 13 by 12 के जगह the main thing was realizing कि string भी move कर रहा है. So therefore, my wave is going to have a combined motion. It's going to move with its velocity. On top of that, the string is going to accelerate. So you can do this either way. Okay, you can maybe even directly write displacement of pulse on the string is speed into time, 12 into t. Displacement of the string is half at square because the string is starting from rest, it's just released. So 12t plus half 2t square, that's directly displacement of the pulse with respect to the ground. Pulse का string के respect में 12t और string का ground के respect में half into at square. तो डायरेक्टली ये भी लिख सकते हो. दैट इज हाउ आई वुड डू इट. ठीक है, या अगर थोड़ा और अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करना है तो पल्स का वेलोसिटी विद रिस्पेक्ट, इनिशियल वेलोसिटी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ग्राउंड is initial velocity of the wave, W is wave with respect to string, plus initial velocity of string with respect to the ground. Initial velocity of wave with respect to the string is 12. In fact, it's always going to be 12. And initial velocity of string with respect to the ground is 0. So initial velocity of wave with respect to ground is going to be 12. वैसे ही निकाल दिया acceleration of wave with respect to ground, acceleration of wave with respect to string plus acceleration of string with respect to ground. Wave with respect to string का acceleration 0 है because this wave moves with a constant speed of 12. So there's no acceleration with respect to the string. But string is accelerating with respect to the ground with an acceleration of 2. So acceleration of wave with respect to ground therefore becomes 0 plus 2, yani ki 2. So basically now, as seen by the ground, the pulse has an initial velocity of 12 and an acceleration of 2. So you apply 12t plus half 2t square is 13 meters. You get a very simple quadratic equation. T square plus 2 and 2 cut that. T square plus 20 minus 13 is 0. T plus 13 into t minus 1 is 0. You can have 2 times. Of course, only one of them makes sense. It has to be an instant after t equal to 0. So t equal to 1 second is your answer. The positive one is your answer. Okay. But yahan pe I would, so you can do it this way. I would of course use it, do it a little quicker. I would just say displacement of the pulse is with respect to ground. There's displacement of the pulse with respect to the string. जो t time में 12t होगा, speed into time. Plus displacement of string with respect to ground. जो t time में ut plus half at square होगा, but string का u नहीं है, तो सिर्फ half at square होगा. जैसा directly 12t plus half 2t square is 13 meters. You could have directly written that things statement itself. Okay. We'll maybe do one more question on wave velocity. ये वाला थोड़ा अलग सा होगा और ये तुम्हारे HCV में भी already है. So we'll discuss one more question. I hope everyone understood this. Okay. Cool. Let me know if you want me to wait. Okay. 5. Anyone saying wait, please say so. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. This is a nice question. A uniform rope of mass M, length L, hangs from a ceiling. Okay. This is really going to test whether you guys know what finding tension means. Okay. To test whether you know your laws of motion. A uniform rope of mass M and length L hangs from a ceiling at a point X distance above the bottom end. Find the tension in the string at this point. Okay. Mass M, length L, uniform hai, X distance above the bottom, find tension. Find the wave velocity also at this point. Okay, find the wave velocity at this point. And the third one is interesting. Find the time taken for a transverse pulse starting from the bottom to reach the top. Okay, so how much time do we give for this? Maybe I'll give you fair enough, 5 minutes. 7:35. We have 5 minutes to answer all three. In my opinion, 1 and 2 should technically not take time. Yes, आप तक सही है. यस, सार्थक सही है, प्रत्याशा सही है, यश सही है. Snehal, I'll just ask you to recheck where x is defined from. X is distance from the bottom. Just cross check that. तन्मय सही है. कुशल सही है. पूर्णा सही है. स्नेहल सही है. नाइस. Okay, 3 more minutes. Get the answer to the third question. Sanadya सही है. प्रत्याशा सही है. कुशल सही है. अहमद सही है. स्नेहल सही है. यश सही है. Sonti सही है. Very nice. 3 people have answered all 3 parts. Pratyasha, very close. Just check if you've written it correctly. Check the dimensions of your answer. हाँ सही है. 4 लोग का हो गया पूरा. अहमद सही है. नाइस. तन्मय सही है. On quickly, 2 minutes to go. Yes, Sanadya. 1 minute to go. Around 5 people have fully solved it. Those who want to cross check tension and velocity. That's what this looks like. Those who got velocity, this is how you would proceed to find time. Okay. All right, time's up. Those who are getting it, you can continue solving. Let me help guys get. Yes, on say it. Sonti say it. I'm gonna help guys get the first 2 parts. First 2 parts are actually a build up to the third part. Third part main question hoga. So like the first part, finding tension in the string. So the golden rule, if you want tension at any cross section, take a system which has that cross section as a boundary. पूरा स्ट्रिंग को सिस्टम नहीं ले सकते हैं, वरना वो टेंशन इंटरनल फोर्स हो जाएगा. Only external forces appear in our Newton's second law. So we need to take a system जिसके लिए tension external होगा. So we need to take a system with that section as a boundary. That's the rule to find tension. All right. So you could either take this, but then that's an unknown force. It's not a big challenge to find it, but still a slightly better choice seems to be this system, because this end is free. So I can directly find tension, and because the other force is just going to be the force of gravity. Now in this system that I've highlighted, the pink system, since my point is x distance above the bottom, I have to find its mass, and its mass will come by simple ratio proportion. Since it's a uniform rod, you can find the linear mass density, which is going to be m upon L, total mass by total length. And when I multiply linear mass density with this section ka length, I get this section ka mass. So ये section का mass है total m by total L, m by L into इसका length x. So mx by L is section का length by ratio proportion. You can get it. So इस section का weight हो जाएगा mxg by L. Okay, now this section is not going anywhere. It's hanging. Its acceleration is 0. So because its acceleration is 0, net force is 0. So upward and downward force will balance, and tension is mgx by L. Okay. Once you have tension, then you can find velocity. This is the answer to the first question. Velocity then is root t by mu. So velocity of the pulse is root t by mu. So this becomes mgx by L. Yes, Ahmed, very nice. Tension substitute kiya mgx by L. Mu is also m by L. Okay, mu is mass by length. Mu is m by L. So ऊपर भी m by L का term है, नीचे भी m by L का term है. Both those m by L terms will cancel out, and you can write your velocity as root gx. Okay, root gx. Now in this case, when you get a velocity, like this, okay, and you want to find time, use calculus. You have velocity in terms of x, find time. Don't try to write time as distance by speed. Distance by speed is for constant velocity. Okay, apply calculus. Okay, so when I equate this to dx by dt, velocity is root gx. Equate this to dx by dt. Okay, before that, yeah. Any doubts in this page? How is mu m by L? Baba, mu ka definition hota hai. Mu is linear mass density. Mu is linear mass density. So mu is total mass by total length. और यूनिफॉर्म है, तो हर जगह ये लीनियर मास डेंसिटी सेम रहेगा. म्यू इज m by L. यहाँ पे जो लीनियर डेंसिटी निकाला ना, मास निकालने के, दैट इज म्यू. ओके, सो अभी इसको है ना, वेलोसिटी को लिख सकते हैं dx by dt, and from this equation we can expect to find time when the pulse reaches the top. So time when x is equal to L. Okay, time when the pulse reaches the top. Does anyone want me to wait here? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. रुकना? Maybe not. Okay. So simple सी बात है. I mean, how in general, how do you always analyze कौन सा equation use करना है? So based on what is in front of you, na, velocity is root gx, and you want to find time. Okay, so then I would say always just try to think of what variables are involved. So like in this case, it's quite clear that the variables involved are v, x, and time. Then you need to think out of the 3 differential equations that govern kinematics. V is dx by dt, A is dv by dt, A is v dv upon dx. Out of those 3 equations, which involves these variables? So vx or t ke liye, acha, v is dx by dt seems to be the equation which works, right? Which involves those variables. So you'll use that. Okay? I mean, just to give you an idea of kaise maine v ko dx by dt likha. And v is dx by dt, v is also root gx. You want x in terms of t, है ना? So this is the differential equation now you're going to work with. In this, what do? You separate time, take dt over to the right-hand side, separate time. So when you separate and separate the variables, time एक तरफ, x एक तरफ, ठीक है? और d वाले terms को ऊपर रख लो, of course. So dt on one side, dx by root gx on the other side. Integrate both sides from 0 to t and 0 to L. Sorry, just cleaning my screen. 0 to t and 0 to l. Okay, so अच्छा क्यों ऐसा starting time 0 है तो starting x coordinate 0 था. I want the time when my x coordinate becomes l. So I'm going to put t in play, t corresponding to the upper limit on the other side l. So I'll get time t when x is l. Integrate करना था ऐसे, simple सा integration है. Right hand side integral dt is t. Okay, limits are 0 to t. Left hand side root g bar गया, ठीक है, और root x, this is actually x to the power minus half, उसका integration होगा x to the power plus half upon plus half. Okay, and we place in the limits, it will just simply be root l upon half. Upon half मतलब 2 root l, 2 ऊपर आ जाएगा. So this will become 2 root l by root g, and that will become t. Time is, that's it, 2 root l by root g, 2 root l upon g. Make sure you're comfortable with kinematics. I mean, that kinematics can pop up in really any chapter. Okay? Make sure you're comfortable with it. Any doubts on this page? Good to see quite a few of you get this answer. So, I mean, this is a one-off case where they specifically want to test tension and they want to test calculus. So you will see how in testing that, they will give you a question where velocity appears to change. Otherwise, normally when we are studying the rest of the chapter, when you're studying a traveling wave, our velocity is going to be constant. Okay, whenever we are studying a traveling wave and you're going to try to write a wave equation, our velocity will be kept constant. यहाँ पे ये ऐसा वन ऑफ केस है, एंड जहाँ पे बस वेव वेलोसिटी अगर चेंज हो रहा है तो बस वो वेलोसिटी का फॉर्मूला निकालना था. एंड व्हाट दे एक्चुअली देन वांटेड टू टेस्ट इन दिस क्वेश्चन वाज कैलकुलस, काइनेमैटिक्स, फाइंडिंग टेंशन. There's a one-off question where velocity is need to change. Otherwise, normally your tension is constant and your velocity is also going to be constant. Okay, no doubts? Okay, I'll wait. उसने wait बोला है, होने पे बता दो. हो गया तो बता दो. Okay. Okay, this page, I mean, I'll just maybe you don't need to copy this because there's not waves as such, but it's uploaded on the drive, so you can check it if you want. Like one of the students had asked me in the other batch, sir, how do we come to know कौन सा differential equation use करना है, क्या integrate करना है? So I mean, this is normally how I tell students to approach things. It's all about seeing what variables are involved. जैसे just to give you a quick overview. अगर velocity is a function of time पता है, x is a function of time चाहिए. Okay, you see that the variables involved are velocity, x, and time. This is the question we just did. No, in fact, this is not the question we just did, but the variables involved are velocity, x, and time. So you'll use velocity as dx by dt. So substitute v as dx by dt, and you have an equation in terms of x and t. When you solve that differential equation, you'll get a proper equation in terms of x and t, you'll get x as a function of t. Another approach is if you have velocity as a function of x, like we just had, and I want x in terms of t, or I need time for x coordinate to be so and so, x coordinate to be L, like in the previous question. Again, variables involved, v, x, t. हमेशा सोचो क्या variables involved है, और फिर सही equation उठाओ, और x in terms of t चाहिए ना, तो v को हटा दो, v is a function of x, उसके जगह dx by dt डाल दो. So right now at this stage, it becomes dx by dt is f of x. So it becomes an equation of x and time, which when you solve, you'll get x as a function of time. Then, as you're going to see in chapter, you might have already started seeing in whenever kinematics is introduced in all of these current chapters, what's really happening is we are learning new types of forces. We're learning forces in new contexts. As we learn new forces, there can always be a question where through force, we find acceleration using Newton's second law. And once we get the acceleration, we can find that our acceleration will be of several types. It could either be constant. If it's constant, we have v is u plus at and s is ut plus half at square and all. But if acceleration is not constant, it could be a function of either time or x or velocity. And whenever you get something like this, a question on kinematics can always be asked. What will your approach be? Think of the variables involved. If you have acceleration as a function of time and you want to get velocity, and you should expect to get velocity as a function of time. Okay, so there are three equations now, three terms, a, f, and a, v, and t. So you'll think which equation involves a, v, and t. A is dv by dt involves a, and b, a, v, and t. So you use that equation. And what you'll do is you'll replace a with dv by dt. So that when you do that, you get an equation only with velocity and time. Usko solve karo, dt udhar leke solve kar lo, you will get velocity as a function of time. On the other hand, if you have a as a function of x and you want velocity, think logically now, a, x, v. Is bar a is dv by dt use nahi kar sakte. Use the variables involved, a, x, and v. To use this differential equation, a is v into dv by dx. The third differential equation. Use this. And isme bhi kya karenge? We'll replace acceleration with v dv by dx. Okay, and then we'll integrate that to get velocity as a function of x. We'll solve that to get velocity as a function of x. The last one is if acceleration is a function of velocity, then you actually have a choice. Okay, you can use either of the two to get velocity, but it depends on what you want velocity in terms of. For instance, if you want velocity in terms of time, किसी ने पूछा है कि t equal to 2 seconds पे क्या speed होगा? You want velocity in terms of time, then variables involved are a, v, t. We will proceed by using this equation. A को dv by dt से substitute कर लो and then solve that differential equation. On the other hand, if you want velocity as a function of x, think of the variables involved, a, v, and x. So a को v dv by dx से replace कर लो and accordingly solve that differential equation. So it's just a flow chart. There's nothing you have to memorize here. What you need to understand is the idea behind this flow chart. And the idea can simply be summarized as make a note of what variables are involved and pick the correct differential equation. See what you are given. See what you need to find. See what variables are involved and pick the correct differential equation and solve. Okay? So that's the general idea. It's just common sense. Nothing to memorize here. Use your common sense. See what is given, what you need to find, and pick the correct equation. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you will not get an equation where velocity is both a function of x and a function of time. Okay. You'll get simple differential equations. In fact, have you solved differential equations in maths? Have you done that chapter? I think it's the last chapter of calculus. Okay. So when you do that chapter, you will get an idea of what kind of differential equations you even learn to solve in maths. Okay. तो उसमें भी किस टाइप के differential equations तुम solve करोगे वो तुम्हें maths में दिखेगा. And this is going to be one step simpler than that. You will get differential equations where, see, all of this itself is considered not easy for normal people. So you will get simple differential equations where acceleration is either a function of x only or time only or b only. And then when you rearrange that and you have to integrate that, the integration will also be simple. It will also be one of the standard integrations. Physics test करना है, उतना भी maths test नहीं करना. Okay. Physics, you should just know what to do. You should just understand and use your common sense, see what variables are involved, and you should know what you need to do. उसके आगे जो part actually solve करना है, that's quite straightforward. The maths part will be quite simple. Okay. All right. So that was just a side note. Just a little bit of advice in case people get stuck when you get a differential equation and you get scared of kinematics 2, which is actually kinematics with calculus. If you get scared of that, okay, I summarized all of that on the previous page. You don't need to be scared. Just think what variables are involved and use one of those 3 equations. Uske aage, it's just maths and simple maths, simpler than what you'll be doing in maths. Okay. Now I'm going to define a very important concept. Okay? Ye x thoda acha dikh nahi raha. And that is the average value of a function. Okay? Average value of a function. What do we mean when we find the average value of a function? So this is like the proper definition for finding the average of a function. Okay? You will need this in several other chapters, not just waves, several other chapters, electromagnetism, maybe kafi jagah. You will need this. So make sure you remember how average is found. So average is defined this way. The average value of a function from xi to xf, from some initial x to some final x, is defined as, okay, so the average of a function is defined as, first of all, the symbol is this. Okay, we'll place it between a lesser than sign and a greater than sign. Whenever you see that, just understand that's a symbol for defining, that's a symbol for finding the average of the function. So between less than and greater than sign normally means us function ka average nikale ja raha hai. So average of f of x from xi to xf is defined this way. Integral f of x dx, like the center of mass formula ki tarah hai thoda. Yes, integral f of x dx, x initial se x final, upon integral dx. Integral f of x dx upon integral dx. Integral f of x dx from x initial to x final for integral dx x initial to x final. Integral f of x dx is area under the curve. AUC, I think you've learned this in maths, or maybe you're going to learn it soon. See, at that time you'll call area under curve as AUC in short. So area under the curve from x initial to x final, that's a numerator. Our denominator is, if you simplify that, that's becoming x final minus x initial. So delta x, change in x. So area under the curve upon change in x. That is the average of a function. Why don't you try to understand this in a case jiska average mein easily samajh mein aata hai? For instance, everyone understands average velocity is displacement by time. But if you think carefully, displacement upon time taken. So time taken is of course going to be the time interval involved, t final minus t initial. But your displacement is going to be the area under the velocity time graph from t final to t initial. So the displacement is going to be the integration of velocity with time from t initial to t final. And the denominator time is going to be t final minus t initial. So makes sense. Average velocity ke liye you've already seen it. What is average velocity? Integral velocity dt t initial se t final upon integral dt t initial se t final. Okay. The way you understood that, वैसा ही इसका definition है. F of x का average निकालने के लिए integral f of x dx x initial से x final और integral dx x initial से x final. So based on this, can you quickly try to find the average of cos square x? Cos square x का average. ठीक है? And especially a periodic function like cos square x के लिए. So हाँ, from where to where, तो on an average over its entire, अगर मैंने specify नहीं किया ना average, then I mean over its entire cycle, over its entire domain. That's what I mean. But then for a periodic function, if the function is periodic, then you don't need to really find its average over its entire domain, because हर period में जो average रहेगा वो बार बार repeat होते जाएगा. हर period में जो average रहेगा वही average बार बार repeat होते जाएगा. So for a periodic function, if I ask you to find the average over the entire domain, you can just simply find the average for one period. तो जैसा cos square x का period क्या है? पाई है ना, पाई है पीरियड cos square x का, तो 0 to पाई एवरेज निकाल दो. और अगर वो थोड़ा गड़बड़ किया 0 to 2 पाई भी गलती से निकाल दे तो भी सेम एवरेज आएगा. It's okay, just find the average of cos square x from 0 to pi. It answer can't be 2 because the answer can't be greater than 1, because cos square x is not greater than 1. Okay, so the answer has to be something between 0 and 1. Perform this integral cos square x dx 0 to pi for integral dx 0 to pi. Yes, Shivank, very nice. Tanmay, very nice. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, cos square x का एवरेज. एक बार प्रॉपर डेफिनेशन से निकाला देखो, and then I'll tell you why we expect that average to be what it is. Okay, so cos square x का average. First of all, cos square x being a period, very nice, Sarthak. Those who are getting it, please go ahead. पूर्णा सही है, ठीक है. Those who are not getting it, उनको मैं एक बार calculation दिखा देता हूँ, फिर एक बार we'll understand the solution also. So actually cos square x का जो period है, period we know is pi. Alright, cos x का 2 pi होता है, because वो है ना, for out of that entire period of cos x, half the time it's below the axis, half the time is above the axis. When you take it square, of course, the below part comes above, and therefore it looks like a repetition of whatever is above the axis. So इसलिए cos square x का period आधा होता है, pi होता है, ठीक है. So to find the average of cos square x, we'll integrate from 0 to pi. That said, even if you integrate from 0 to 2 pi, you'll still get the same thing, because average for the first cycle and average for the second cycle दोनों same रहेगा, उसका भी average same ही रहेगा, ठीक है. So you integrate for any multiple of pi, any multiple of the period, you will get the same average, ठीक है. 0 से pi चाहिए तो 0 से pi कर लो. अब 0 से pi अपना डिनोमिनेटर बहुत स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है. इंटीग्रल dx is x, लिमिट्स डाल दो pi और 0, तो you get pi minus 0. That's a denominator. Denominator is just basically change in x. It's a fancy way of writing change in x. So x का change pi हमने लिया है, delta x is pi. Cos square x का integration, very important from physics perspective. You should know how to integrate this. There's no other way except to write cos square x as 1 plus cos 2x by 2. Yeah, you use that half angle formula. 1 plus cos 2x by 2. cos square x is 1 plus cos 2x by 2. इसको इंटीग्रेट करेंगे तो एक तो 1 by 2 का इंटीग्रेशन आ जाएगा, इंटीग्रल 1 by 2 into dx will be x by 2. हाफ का इंटीग्रेशन इज x by 2. okay, dx का इंटीग्रेशन इज x, तो हाफ इंटू x by 2. और cos 2x by 2 का इंटीग्रेशन है ना, these are things maybe that won't seem very challenging to you now that you've done integration in maths. तो 2 पहले बाहर गया और फिर cos 2x का इंटीग्रेशन itself will be sin 2x upon 2. sin 2x upon x का कोएफिशिएंट, तो sin 2x by 2. okay, so our numerator now is ultimately x by 2 plus sin 2x by 4. x by 2 plus sin 2x by 4. इसमें मैं पाई डालूंगा और फिर 0 डालूंगा. पाई जब डालूंगा तो ये फर्स्ट टर्म पाई by 2 होगा, दूसरा टर्म हो जाएगा sin 2 pi upon 4. We know sin 2 pi is 0. So that second term is going to disappear when I put in pi. Okay, that's why I've cancelled it with the yellow line. When I put in 0, okay, when I put in the lower limit, x by 2 is going to be 0. And then sin 2x by 4, sin 0 by 4, वो भी 0 हो जाएगा. So out of these 4 terms, 3 terms are actually 0. You're only left with pi by 2. So pi by 2 upon pi, 1 by 2 is the average of cos square x. This is the answer which is coming mathematically. Now let me tell you why this average is obvious. Okay, why is it obvious कि यही average होना चाहिए? ठीक है, so multiple reasons. एक तो एक्चुअली अगर तुम ये चीज देखोगे, you will understand what cos square x does in its life. Cos square x is a function जिसका value is half. ठीक है, मतलब एक 1 by 2 है उसमें, प्लस उसके ऊपर एक cos 2x by 2 का फंक्शन है. तो बिकॉज ऑफ cos 2x by 2 का जो फंक्शन है ना, ये क्या करेगा लाइफ में, ये आगे पीछे ऑसिलेट करेगा. cos 2x तो -1 और 1 के बीच में जाता है, एंड cos 2x by 2 तो -half और 1/2 के बीच में ऑसिलेट करेगा, जिसके कारण हाफ प्लस दिस ऑसिलेटरी फंक्शन विल गिव मी दिस काइंड ऑफ बिहेवियर. वो हाफ से -half ऊपर, सॉरी हाफ से हाफ ऊपर जाएगा, मतलब 1 को टच करेगा, और हाफ से -half नीचे जाएगा, -half मतलब 0 को टच करेगा. ठीक है, सो दिस इज हाउ एक्चुअली cos square x looks. ऑफ कोर्स इट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम हियर, ठीक है, बट दिस इज हाउ इट लुक्स. वो हाफ के ऊपर नीचे ऑसिलेट करता है विद एन एम्पलीट्यूड ऑफ हाफ. दैट इज हाउ योर cos square x ग्राफ लुक्स. एनीवन नोस कि ऐसा ऑसिलेटरी फंक्शन ऑन एन एवरेज उसका वैल्यू 0, बिकॉज आधा टाइम ऊपर रहता है, आधा टाइम नेगेटिव रहता है. cos 2x by 2 का एवरेज इज 0. It's an oscillatory function, वो half the time positive है, half the time negative है. cos 2x by 2 का एवरेज 0 है, तो एवरेज तो हाफ रहना चाहिए cos square x का. And that's one way of looking at it, कि cos square x का एवरेज हाफ क्यों आना चाहिए. There is a better, more convincing way. The best way I like remembering कैसा cos square x का हाफ होगा, most logical way is cos square x plus sin square x is 1. All right, this is an identity. This is always true for every event. Cos square x plus sin square x is 1. For every x, their sum is 1. That means their average values also should add up to 1. So when I take an average of both sides, cos square x का average value plus sin square x का average value should also add to 1. Moreover, cos square x and sin square x are symmetrical. I mean, their graphs are, if you understand the graphs, you should realize they are exactly the same. Almost exactly the same. What's the difference? Oh, थोड़ा बस left right shifted है. Cos square maybe 1 से start करता है, sin square 0 से start करता है. But otherwise, the nature of the graph is the same. If I shift cos square towards the right, it will exactly overlap the sin square graph. So the way they are spread out between 0 and 1 is the same. Therefore, their average also should be the same. You can't say cos square sin square से बड़ा है. आधा टाइम वो sin square से बड़ा रहेगा, आधा टाइम वो sin square से कम रहेगा. So their average is the same. Their averages add to 1. What do you get? दोनों का average has to be half. Both should have an average of half. Their averages are same. Their averages add to 1. तो दोनों का average should be half. Please remember this. This will be very useful in a lot of other chapters in physics. And you should know the average value of cos square x. And hopefully when you ever come across this again, hopefully you won't have to do all of this. You should know कि ऐसा करके answer आता है. You should be able to do this. But I hope you won't have to, because now you can just remember. Let me just show this page to someone. Just remember कि logically cos square plus sin square 1 है. दोनों cos square and sin square on an average same ही है. So on an average, cos square का average half and sin square का भी average half होना चाहिए. Any doubts in this page? Okay, great. Anyone wants me to wait on this page? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. All right. So you'll see why I mentioned that. थोड़ी देर में दिखेगा. Okay. So we will now define 3 terms. Okay. 3 terms with respect to the propagation of a wave. Power, थोड़ा zoom in करता हूँ पहले. Power, intensity, and energy density. Let's see the definitions. First one is power transmitted, which I will represent with the symbol P. It is simply the energy crossing a cross section of the string per unit time. It is measured in watts. Okay, these 3 terms are important for all 3 chapters of waves. Sound waves, wave optics, and this chapter as well. Make sure you're clear with what these definitions mean. Power is energy crossing a cross section per unit time. Energy by time. Energy crossing a cross section per unit time. It is measured in watts. Intensity, I, is closely related. It's the energy crossing a cross section of the string per unit time. So almost similar hai. Per unit area as well. Okay, I think maybe I must have also mentioned this when we were doing radiation. Okay, it is the power per unit cross section area. It's the power per unit cross sectional area. This is energy by time by area. Power by area. It's measured in watt by meter square. Power by area, watt by meter square. So that's intensity. That's intensity for you. Last one is, if you just to remember, if you remember in radiation, when we talked about heat being emitted, dq by dt is E sigma A T raised to 4. Right? So dq by dt was power. And if I divide that by area, that was actually the intensity. So E sigma T raised to 4 was like the intensity of the emission. Anyways, that's the definition of intensity. Energy by area by time. Energy density, both simple hai, is the energy per unit volume. Is the energy contained per unit volume of the string. So energy density, जैसे ED के form में लिख रहा हूँ, D like a subscript, is measured in joules by meter cube. Energy by volume, joules by meter cube. All right. What is important is being able to relate between them, because we're going to see a bunch of formulas for these 3, and the formulas may look a little complex to memorize, but these definitions should be so crystal clear that if you understand the definitions and if you memorize only one formula, based on the definition, you should be able to get the other formulas. So that is our hope कि तुम ये 3 definition अच्छे से समझो, ताकि उनके बीच में तुम relation समझ लो. और अगर उनके बीच में तुम्हें relation आ गया, फिर तीनों का individual formula याद करने के जगह you can just remember one, and then you can just make those adjustments to get the other 2. So for instance, how does intensity relate with power? A very simple one. Intensity is power by area. We've already defined that. So intensity is power by area. Now, in whatever formula I give in my notes, and in fact, even if you read your formula from a textbook, just bear in mind the symbol that we are going to use. Small a is what I will use for cross-sectional area. Capital A I'll use for amplitude. Okay, so don't mix up the two. So P upon area, small a is power by area. Don't mix up the two, क्योंकि पावर के फॉर्मूला में एम्पलीट्यूड भी रहेगा, तो ऐसा कैपिटल ए और स्मॉल ए काटना नहीं है. ओके, तो बेयर दैट इन माइंड. A is cross sectional area, capital A is amplitude. यहाँ पे intensity is power crossing by area. So therefore intensity is naturally power by area, P by small a. That said, can somebody think of what will be the relation between energy density and one of these terms? कोई भी एक सोचो, energy density और power या intensity के बीच में क्या संबंध है? Can you think? And one is asking, so how is the units of energy density joules by meter cube? Definition देखो, it's energy by volume, joules by meter cube. Energy by volume, joules by meter. On energy density in terms of power. No worries. Yash, B stands for what in your formula? Yeah, very nice. Yash सही है. पूना ठीक है, पूना उससे ही है, power into time by volume, ठीक है, but like how do I get time into the picture? ठीक है, let's say I know cross sectional area, let's say I know velocities. So you're right, that will eventually take you on the right track. So देखो इसमें to find intensity, sorry, to find energy density, this is what we do. We'll say कि imagine कि this is my cross section. Okay, this is a cross section. और मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं t time का एक interval लूंगा. Okay, I'm going to take an interval of t seconds. So that's going to start from t equal to 0 all the way till time t. Okay. So I'm going to take an interval of t seconds, which will go from 0 to time t. Now, क्या होगा? At the beginning of this interval, at t equal to 0, some energy would have started crossing this cross section. At t equal to 0. The energy which started crossing the cross section, because it's being propagated with a velocity v, will move ahead distance vt and will reach this cross section, which is vt distance away. तो जो उस इंटरवल के एकदम बिगिनिंग में एनर्जी एंटर किया ना, वो vt डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम दिस क्रॉस सेक्शन आगे बढ़ा. ठीक है, आई एम कीपिंग अ ट्रैक ऑफ हाउ मच एनर्जी इज क्रॉसिंग थ्रू दिस क्रॉस सेक्शन, तो वो vt डिस्टेंस आगे गया. फिर जो एनर्जी मे बी इन द मिडल ऑफ दिस टाइम इंटरवल एंटर किया, वो ऐसा कहीं तो बीच तक कहीं तो पहुंचा होगा. और जो एनर्जी एट द एंड ऑफ दिस टाइम इंटरवल एंटर किया, the energy which crossed our cross section just as this time interval was about to end, just as we are about to stop the stopwatch, the energy which entered should more or less still be over here. So the energy which enters at the beginning should be somewhere over here. The energy which enters at the middle should be somewhere over here. At the end should be somewhere over here. So the energy which enters in that entire interval should be contained in this region, should be locked in this region. Okay, so what am I trying to say now? Let's read what I've written in yellow. In yellow, I've written in t time, the energy crossing this cross section would have moved a max distance of Vt. Because Vt distance कौन पहुंचने वाला है? जो starting में जिसने cross किया. जो थोड़ा late आया है ना in the race, they would have reached somewhere over here. Right? So, in fact, जो last में just cross किया, they are still over here. So, in T time, the energy crossing this cross section has reached the max distance of Vt. Therefore, the energy crossed lies in a cylinder of area A. Okay, the cross-sectional area is A and length Vt. जो भी energy has crossed this cross-section lies in a cylinder of area A and cross-sectional area Vt. Now, the energy, total energy that has crossed this cross-section lies in this region. The total energy that has crossed this cross-section has to be power into time. Because I gave this T time, and I know the power at this point. So in T time, the energy crossing should be power into time. Okay. The energy density is energy contained, the energy density around this region. We'll keep time small. So ये ज़्यादा दूर नहीं जाएगा. Energy density around this region should be energy contained in the cylinder by the volume of the cylinder. Energy contained we know is power into time. The volume of the cylinder we know is length into area, Vt into A. So power into time upon Vt into A. यहाँ से अपना energy density आ जाएगा power by velocity by area. Power by velocity by area. या energy density आ जाएगा intensity by velocity. Intensity by velocity. All right. So this is how you relate energy density to intensity and velocity. This is how you relate energy density to intensity and velocity. Okay? ये formula बहुत important है याद करना. बहुत ही important है for the entire wave section. You should know how power, intensity and energy density relate with each other. Okay? And to be quite clear, यहाँ पे जो भी मैं v लिख रहा हूँ ना, जब भी छोटा, जब भी v लिखूंगा, I will always mean velocity in waves. छोटा v normally लिखने की कोशिश करूंगा, but I always mean velocity. Volume anyways किधर भी appear नहीं होगा except this region. इधर definition में volume appear हुआ है. So if I want to write volume, I'll write as a VOL. ठीक है? Otherwise, all formulas, there should be no confusion. V will mean velocity. Okay? यहाँ पे confusion हो सकता है cross sectional area and amplitude के बीच में. They'll appear in the same formula, so don't cancel them out. So for that, keep cross sectional area small a, keep amplitude as capital A. ठीक है? ठीक है? And just just a shortcut. I mean, ठीक है, ये तो मैंने जो बताया एक proper derivation है. तुम्हें अगर एग्जाम में थोड़ा सा डाउट आ रहा है क्या एग्जैक्ट, if you don't feel you can derive all of this in the exam, at least work out the dimensions, at least work out the units. Okay, so एक shortcut फिर हो सकता है कि एग्जाम में at least units work out करके लिख लो. एनर्जी डेंसिटी का ये यूनिट है. We know कि this is intensity into something. Okay, maybe that can help you out. Intensity into something. Let that something be x. Intensity को लिखो joules per second. Watt को लिखो joules per second. नहीं क्या? Sorry, power. What is joules by time? हाँ, joules per second. सही. तो यहाँ से if you compare them, है ना, you should get x as if you just cancel out the units, you can figure out अरे SS कट गया, m square m कट गया. अच्छा, x is s upon m, मतलब x is actually 1 by velocity. Okay, so यहाँ पे x is 1 upon velocity. So you can still work out. Okay, there's nothing complicated in this equation. उतना याद करो. ऐसा प्लस नहीं है, कुछ और अजीब सा कांस्टेंट नहीं है. It's just a multiplication of energy density, intensity, and some other terms. So you can, if you forget this relation, you can get this relation by dimensional analysis. either remember it or use dimensions to derive it, or I mean, I derived this way in the exam. Once you get a hang of it, it won't take much time also. Okay, with this, at least I'm very convinced कि your answer सही. But समझ में आया कैसे energy density relates to intensity? Is there any doubt in this? No? Okay. Okay. So maybe we just have enough time to see the formula for the instantaneous power transmitted. Okay. Again, iska abhi, for this, actually the result is what matters. But we will still see the derivation, because the derivation, helps us understand a lot more things about even some of the other chapters in general. तो एक बार इसका derivation देखेंगे, समझ में आएगा formula कहाँ से आ रहा है. ठीक है? Maybe this is not something you'll derive in the exam, but understanding this derivation will clear certain other concepts. So instantaneous power transmitted in intensity and energy density. What do I mean by that? It's like me wanting to find the intensity passing through this cross section, or the power transmitted by this cross section at a particular instant of time. So particular x, particular time पे कितना power transmitted है वो देखना है. अब वो समझने के लिए basically what will happen is, I want to see the power transmitted from the left end of the string to the right end of the string, right? So if I want power transmitted across a cross section, so I basically want to see how much power is supplied by the, let's say the wave is propagating to the right. So I want to see how much power is supplied by the portion on the left to the portion on the right. How much power is supplied by the portion on the left to the portion on the right. How much power is supplied to the portion on the right at this particular instant? So let's say at this particular instant, the particle has a velocity of Vp. Maybe it's going upwards. Okay. And let's say at this particular instant, my tension is T. Okay. So Vp I've taken with the sign. And if Vp is positive, it's indeed going upwards. If Vp is negative, by definition, it's going downwards. String का tension, left part, right part को अपने तरफ खींचेगा. So the right part is being pulled along the string. Okay, it's being pulled along the string, and tension is normally going to be tangential to the string. Okay, so if I just try to find the direction that portion of the string makes, I'll probably extend it and I'll show ki acha, this portion of the string is currently making an angle of theta with the x-axis. The slope of the string at this instant is tan theta. Okay, at that point. Chalo, to ye sab hai taiyar. If I want to see the power transmitted to the right end, I need to see the power exerted or applied on the right end by the left end. So power is force dot velocity, right? We all know that. But what force, what velocity? So it's of course the force that this guy is applying on that guy, which will be tension. And velocity kiska? It has to be velocity of the point of contact. Work done is integral f dot ds. ds is displacement of the point of contact. Power may be f dot v jo hai. V is velocity of the point of contact. So it has to be this particle's velocity and this tension का dot product. क्या आएगा इन दोनों के dot product से? तो टेंशन और वीपी का डॉट प्रोडक्ट. तो देखो पहले तो टेंशन को दो कंपोनेंट में बांट सकते हो. एक होगा टी कॉस थीटा, जिसका कुछ पॉइंट नहीं है क्योंकि उसका डॉट प्रोडक्ट 0 आएगा वीपी के साथ. तो नेचुरली फिर उसका जो दूसरा कंपोनेंट है वो ही अपीयर होगा डॉट प्रोडक्ट में. तो टेंशन का दूसरा कंपोनेंट होगा टी साइन थीटा, एंड टी साइन थीटा इज डाउनवर्ड्स, वीपी इज अपवर्ड्स. ओके, सो देयरफॉर दिस डॉट प्रोडक्ट इज गोइंग टू बी माइनस टी साइन थीटा इनटू वीपी, माइनस टी साइन थीटा इनटू वीपी. ऑलराइट, तो यहाँ पे ऐसा पावर दिख रहा है. ओके, दिस इज इंस्टेंटेनियस पावर एट दिस इंस्टेंट. नाउ वील make an assumption. Okay, we'll assume that the amplitude is normally a lot lesser than the wavelength. Okay, which is what you normally see when strings are under sufficient tension. You look at a guitar string is vibrating, but ऐसा नहीं कि गिटार स्ट्रिंग ऐसा है, गिटार का बॉडी ऐसा है और स्ट्रिंग ऐसा ऐसा बड़ा बड़ा है ना वाइब्रेशन कर रहा है. Normally the amplitude of vibration for a string under tension, typically a metallic string, okay, it can't get stretched by, उसका length ज्यादा नहीं बढ़ सकता है. So normally that amplitude of vibration is sufficiently small in compared to the wavelength. Okay, when you create a wave on any rod, on any metallic string, even a normal nylon string, normally the amplitudes are small. So this is going to be one fair assumption that we're going to make. We'll assume amplitude is far lesser than lambda. उससे क्या होता है? Because amplitude is far lesser than lambda ना, ये actually this wave is quite flat. So most of these angles, most of the slopes and all are not very steep. Theta is small. ठीक है? तो हम basically ये सब जुगाड़ करके we want to say theta छोटा है and we want to make sin theta as tan theta. You can see what we are doing. ठीक है? So sin theta को हमने tan theta के फॉर्म में ले लिया. अच्छा, इससे क्या हो गया? जैसे sin theta के फॉर्म में लिखा, tan theta can now be written as dou y by dou x. Slope y x के मुताबिक कैसे चेंज होता है? Freeze time y x के मुताबिक कैसे चेंज होता है? That's tan theta. And the other one, vp is dou y by dou t. पार्टिकल का y कोऑर्डिनेट टाइम के मुताबिक कैसे चेंज होता है? Don't change x, freeze x मतलब lock in on a particle and see time के मुताबिक y कैसे चेंज होता है. That'll give you particle velocity. Okay, which we have actually in a way seen before. We have seen कि this term is slope and this term is particle velocity. Okay, अब एक quick derivation. Okay, literal derivation और derivative निकालेंगे. Yes. The graph is y versus x. Graph is y versus x. Okay. This is how a pulse wave looks. उसका graph है. Okay. Now y is a sin kx minus omega t. मान लो ये अपना wave का equation है. ये जल्दी से अब 2 मिनट में I'll try to finish the derivation. So y is a sin kx minus omega t. Okay. And my pressure becomes minus t. क्या है? Dou y. Okay, we can actually handle dou y by dou t. Let's directly write dou y by dou t. चेन रूल ही लगाना है. y मैंने तुम्हारे लिए इधर लिखा है ब्रैकेट में. तो dou y by dou t. Y is this equation that I've highlighted. Standard wave equation. A sin kx minus omega t. एक मिनट ना. I think there is a lag in what I'm highlighting. अब highlight हो गया. That is my y equation. Standard wave equation. ठीक है? और उसको मैं differentiate करूंगा. तो differentiate करने में as you know, पहले तो a sin kx minus omega t, a cos kx minus omega t हो जाएगा. और फिर उसके अंदर को जब चेन रूल से डिफरेंशिएट करोगे विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू टाइम, टाइम का कोएफिशिएंट माइनस ओमेगा बाहर आएगा. So it's going to be minus omega a cos kx minus omega t. That is dou y by dou t. That is your particle velocity. As you know, SHM का होता है ना minus a omega cos phase. वही आ रहा है यहाँ पे minus a omega cos kx minus omega t. dou y by dou x. Slope जो है, second term जो है, वो भी डायरेक्टली डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हैं. इट्स नॉट डिफिकल्ट. साइन को कर दो कॉस और फिर चेन रूल से अंदर वाले चीज को डिफरेंशिएट कर लो, बट विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू एक्स दिस टाइम. तो इसमें एक्स का कोएफिशिएंट बाहर आ जाएगा, तो के बाहर आ जाएगा. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली व्हाट आवर इंस्टेंटेनियस पावर इज गोइंग टू लुक लाइक. ओके, ऑलमोस्ट डन. अब ये जो इक्वेशन जो है इसमें एटलीस्ट ऑब्जर्व की टी मतलब माइनस साइन हट जाएगा. एक मिनट, देयर इज अ लिटिल लैग इन व्हाट आई हैव हाइलाइटेड. हाँ, माइनस साइन कट रहा है. ठीक है. और अब इसमें ना टेंशन को म्यू वी स्क्वायर के टर्म्स में लिखो. यू नो टेंशन इज म्यू इनटू वेलोसिटी स्क्वायर. और के को ओमेगा बाय वी लिखो. Okay, that's another equation we have to get used to. V is omega upon k, k is omega upon v. तो ये सब लिख के क्या हो जाएगा देख लो. ये सब लिख के our result is going to look like mu v square, this is tension, into omega, ठीक है, टेंशन निपट गया, ओमेगा निपट गया, के रह गया, के को भी लिखो ओमेगा अपॉन वी। ओके, सो सब कुछ ऐसा सब्स्टिट्यूट कर रहे हैं। दो एम्पलीट्यूड रह गया, कैपिटल एज एम्पलीट्यूड, तो एम्पलीट्यूड हो जाएगा ए स्क्वायर, और फिर दो कॉस के टर्म्स रह गए, एग्जैक्ट सेम टर्म्स। ओके, सो वो जो दो कॉस के टर्म्स है वो क्लब होके कॉस स्क्वायर के एक्स माइनस ओमेगा टी हो गया। थोड़ा सा लैग है। My battery is also about to die, so not extend. अरे यार, I'm on mute. कब से म्यूट में था? हेलो, was I on mute for the entire page or? अच्छा, 1 minute. Okay, I hope everyone saw कैसा instantaneous power का फॉर्मूला आया। यहाँ तक तो देखा ना? You followed till mu v a square. Okay, fine. So last thing that I just did is I wrote kx minus omega t as phase. The phase you understand in SHM, extreme position pi by 2, mean position 0, negative extreme minus pi by 2, वैसा ही, ठीक है, वही phase तुम substitute करोगे तो you will get instantaneous power. This formula is a little rare in comparison to एवरेज पावर का फॉर्मूला जो अगले क्लास में करेंगे। एवरेज पावर में cos स्क्वायर फेज हाफ हो जाएगा, बस cos स्क्वायर का एवरेज इज हाफ, सो दैट इज द मोर पॉपुलर फॉर्मूला। स्टिल ये एक बार बता दिया, इंस्टेंटेनियस पावर का ये फॉर्मूला है। ओके, cos स्क्वायर फेज म्यू वी ए स्क्वायर ओमेगा स्क्वायर, एंड इफ यू रिमेंबर दिस यू विल गेट द अदर्स। लाइक you can just observe how intensity instantaneous is P instantaneous by area। तो जो हाईलाइटेड फॉर्मूला है उसके नीचे छोटा एरिया डाल दो तो इंस्टेंटेनियस इंटेंसिटी मिलेगा। डोंट कैंसिल आउट कैपिटल ए एंड स्मॉल ए। कैपिटल ए इज एम्पलीट्यूड, स्मॉल ए इज एरिया। तो पावर का आगे तो इंटेंसिटी आ जाएगा, एनर्जी और इंटेंसिटी आ गया तो एनर्जी डेंसिटी आएगा। बाय वेलोसिटी डिवाइड करोगे तो देखो ऊपर का वेलोसिटी कट गया, ये वेलोसिटी कट जाएगा व्हेन यू डिवाइड बाय वेलोसिटी, एंड दैट विल बी द फॉर्मूला फॉर एनर्जी डेंसिटी। Okay, so these at the end of the day, I mean, those formulas are what you have to memorize. एक याद किया तो बाकी याद हो जाएगा। Okay, and I will just repeat this again tomorrow. I think we're meeting tomorrow if I'm not wrong, and we will continue with the rest of the derivations. ठीक है, एवरेज पावर कल देखेंगे। एवरेज पावर में cos स्क्वायर को हाफ से रिप्लेस करेंगे। तो एक बार कल वापस ये maybe not the entire derivation, but ये जो final result है, we just see that once more. Okay, fine. I mean that's it. Those who want to leave can leave. किसी को कुछ वापस explain करना है तो please you can ask if you want me to explain anything again. ठीक है, ये derivation याद नहीं करना है, but ऐसा just you should have, I mean you should understand like what has been done. When you read the derivation, you should understand what has been done. How we got P instantaneous from P? Nee, this is always P instantaneous. This is, why is it called instantaneous? ये मैंने एक्चुअली इधर हर जगह लेबल, दिस इज ऑल P instantaneous. This is P at this instant. This is P at X at time T. तो ये था ही P instantaneous. वो बस अंत में हाईलाइट करते वक्त मैंने वो प्रॉपर फॉर्मूला लिखा to distinguish this result from a result we'll see in the next class, which is average power. उससे distinguish करने के लिए मैंने इधर specifically instantaneous लिखा है. Otherwise, throughout this page, all the P you're seeing is instantaneous P. And instantaneous means it's telling you power at time T at a particular X coordinate, मतलब for a particular particle. That's why instantaneous. Specific power. ठीक है? All right. Page 33 किसी, yeah, those who want to leave can leave. Page 33 क्या doubt है? Welcome. And power, मतलब those formulas look bad, but when questions on them come, that's only formula based. A lot of waves is just pure formula based conceptual. थोड़ा अगर challenge है, they'll make you, work a little hard to find tension. That'll be a test of laws of motion. Otherwise, by itself, the concepts are very simple. This should be one of your scoring chapters. Normally in the first round, you attempt questions from chapters you like. So for me, normally attempt mechanics and waves when I solve the paper. It can be a chapter which gives you confidence. All right, कल और देखेंगे. किसी को पूछना था ना slide 33 या just देखना था. Okay, you saw it. Okay, done. All right. Then chalo, bye.